All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Deep End. This is lucky number 38. As always, I'm here with my main man, Mr. Gutman. Ari, what's happening, man? How are you? We got into it. We just came on, got rolling for like the first time ever. So, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. First of all, I gotta say it. I feel like time flies. Like I just feel like I was yesterday talking to you on the deep end, and then it's already been a week, man. It's crazy. But life is going great. The portfolio is doing even better, and I got to also share. I'm getting really amped up for the Blossom tour coming up. Which, by the way, this podcast, The Deep End, is in fact powered up by Blossom. But gotta say, if you haven't already bought your tickets for the Blossom Tour, I'm like highly, highly recommending you to buy those tickets, come out to the event, socialize, meet me, and hopefully Ryan next year when he's at the Blossom Tour next year. But
Mhm.
October 3rd, we're hitting New York City, and on October 7th, it's Chicago. And I gotta say, like, I'm really fired up, man. I'm really fired up for the Blossom Tour. I can't wait just to like socialize with a bunch of investors, man. I freaking love it. How have you been
Yeah,
doing?
man. I've been doing good. I'll tell you more about that in a sec. But I was gonna say I feel like out of the handful of events that you've been to recently, whether it's Future Proof or FinCon, I feel like this one it's different first and foremost. But I feel like this one's going to be your favorite out of all the events you've been to. I think you're gonna. I'm excited to hear about it, but I would guess that these are going to be your favorite events that you've been to this year.
It's certainly different, man. It's investor centric, right? Like I had IFX. IFX was more like, Forex and advisors. And then there was, Exchange, which was more advisors. And then Future Proof was advisors and firms. FinCon was more creators, which was like the energy levels are just different. It's always high
Yeah.
energy levels, but like where that energy is going is different because people are, usually at business conferences. For those of you who haven't had the fortune to go to business conferences, I just recommend going to conferences. Get out there, meet people in your industry, go to meetups, like do anything you can to expand upon your network. It really becomes your net worth, at least in my experience. And, just having a good group of high energy people, go getters in your circle, like that's where you can meet them. But depending on the conference, it's like, where's the focus? What is the intention of the conference? And so Blossom is, of course, investor centric, right? It's like retail investors meeting up for a powwow to amp each other up on literally financial freedom and just bettering all of us. So I think you're right, man. I think this one will be different. And I'm super excited, man. I'm really excited to get on stage and be talking as well. I think I have an epic topic. I'm not going to disclose it here.
Oh,
Purchase those
tell
tickets.
we tell me off camera because I was just about to ask what are you going to talk about. But okay, no
Yeah,
spoilers.
yeah.
I respect it. I respect it. Well, I'm
Yeah, I'll
excited
tell you
for you,
off
man.
camera, man. I'll give you the sneak peek, or I can't say sneak peek because you won't be looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
anything. But the year's all in.
So yeah, man, things are going pretty good over here. I'm looking at my portfolio right now. A little bit of a pullback compared to this time last month, but or last week, excuse me. But I think we're kind of holding steady around that $110,000 mark. I'm at 109,725 at the moment. So, like I said, it's kind of hovering within that range, which is fine. Like I've been saying, I feel like I've been beating a dead horse with this, but I'm just kind of ready for a bit of a pullback. I'm kind of struggling to find the buying opportunities. So, these days where I am seeing a bit of red in the portfolio, I welcome it. It's bittersweet, obviously, but at this stage in the game, I welcome it. I'm looking around outside of the portfolio to see if there's anything that's really interesting that I see as potential additions. I am finding a couple potential opportunities that look decently valued right now, but I'm kind of still just building up cash because I still feel like things are a bit frothy. We'll see what the market does the rest of the year, but if it actually kind of feels good to be building up some sort of dry powder to use when really really undeniable opportunities come along. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for. And in the meantime, I guess just like I said, stacking that cash. But outside of the portfolio, dude, I will say. any day now. Any day now that baby is going to come.
Oh man.
We're at a point now where we're going to the doctors every single week, and I think this week will mark on Friday or Thursday, excuse me. As you guys are watching this, it will officially be week 38 weeks in. So that's full term. And so really, it's like any day now, just waiting for the big day.
How
So
does it feel?
good. It almost feels it feels a bit surreal, I would say. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of I don't exactly know how to explain it. I'm either at a point where it hasn't hit me yet, or I'm past that point. Like maybe it hit me earlier on in this process that like, wow, I'm going to be a dad and there's going to be a baby, and so I'm kind of used to it. But either way, I feel very ready. I feel prepared. Um, all the things that are within our control, we've crossed all of our T's and we've dotted our I's, and all that's left to do is just just wait for the arrival. But yeah, man, I feel really good. I'm interested to see. Number one, I'm so stoked to meet her. I'm so interested to see what she's going to look like. What's how much hair she has coming out, all the things. Um, I'm really excited for that, and I'm just interested to see how things change from here. I'm sure so much will, but yeah, more than anything, I'm excited. I'm
Oh
excited and
man,
I'm
you
ready.
you become an instant billionaire. Um, a dividend Prius rolls in your driveway.
Oh my gosh, people love that. Last week
I
when there were a lot of comments about the dividend Prius, that's funny.
know. And other things change too, man. I mean, I feel like your spending habits might change even, a bit more. You'll be spending in certainly dividend diapers, you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Dude,
and all the
we need a
dividend income.
Toyota. We need a Toyota and we need a Pampers sponsorship ASAP.
There you go. I'm sure you can call up the company and just put like, Pampers on the door and get something for that. Or
Yeah, branded
we'll, we'll
nursery.
we'll reach out to Pampers and see if they'll sponsor the deep end in some capacity.
But you're right, man. It's as far as the priority shift goes. I already felt that. Like as soon as I got the news, or as soon as my wife told me that we were going to be having a baby back in, whenever it was, January or February. I think it was, yeah, I think it was January sometime. Immediately upon hearing the news, I did feel a shift. And so I've already kind of felt that, and I've kind of been carrying that sense of responsibility with me since I've heard the news. But it's probably going to be so much more amplified. The volume on that's going to be turned up like a handful more notches, I'm sure, once she's actually here. And I was talking with, it's funny because I was talking with Russ about this. I don't know, a few different times recently, and he said the same thing. Just wait. Everything's going to change as soon as she's there. And on one hand, like I said, I feel like things have already changed, but it's probably nothing compared to when she actually is. So we'll see.
Dude, I love, when we talk about our lives like beyond finance because I'm laughing. My biggest thing tonight, I'm planning a trip right now before I go to the Blossom Tour. And I was just taking a look at all the flights and I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to go to the Amalfi Coast. And like this is the thing I'm doing before we jump on and you're thinking about a baby. I'm like two very different, lives we're living out right now, but it's funny to think about and talk about, but it's it comes out in our investing style and probably how, we're going to go about spending and saving in the next, well, now you for years, but, a couple of months and everything changes.
hmm So, speaking of spending and saving, we do have kind of a fun little topic planned for you guys. We were talking beforehand. I was actually a few minutes late. I said we just jumped into the recording, and we pretty much did. We started to do our little, you know, back and forth before recording, but then Ari stopped me. He's like, "No, let's just go. Let's just start rolling. We don't want to spoil it. Let's just get into it." But I was actually a few minutes late to our conversation today because I was cutting my hair, and I was telling him that, and I thought, it'd be kind of fun to talk about that. Because Ari was like, "Yeah, it's nice to." What did you say? You said something about you spelled out the word free, but what was the context?
Oh
I
no,
don't
I
remember.
just said, you know, FREE, free baby, it's frugality. And then you
Oh,
basically chimed in with just saying like, hey, like we should talk about this actually, like ways in which we're frugal or like spending habits we currently have.
yeah.
And I mean, you'll kick us off here. You just got the fresh buzz.
Yeah, so for years now, I mean, I don't have too much to work with in the hair department, but for years, probably for the last, I'm 32 now, I bet you for the last 10 to 12 years, so well over a decade, I I've cut my own hair. I haven't paid for a haircut in that long a time. It's always just super simple buzz cut, one way or another, and I I don't think I'll ever go back to getting, having someone cut my hair. I just some it's become one of those things in my mind where I can't pay for that. Like, it just doesn't. Why would I do that? I can cut my own hair. This is something I'm more than capable of doing. I do it so often. I probably cut my hair once a week or so. And so when I think about it, and I don't even know what haircuts cost these days, but $30, does that sound like a, good
For
haircut
a simple
price?
standard
Yeah.
cut, for sure. I gotta say, man, when I grew out the beard, all of a sudden I gotta like when I go to the barber, I have them just clean it up, like
Mm.
reshape it, clean it up. I can clean it up with my razor, but like I like when they actually shape it out for me. It just makes it easier. But ever since adding the beard, right, like it's an added expense, man. And I actually
Okay.
thought I was like, is it worth it? Is it worth it
Dude,
to
and
have a beard?
well, yeah, and beards can grow pretty quickly, and so I figure I cut my hair probably once a week, once every week and a half. I try and stay on top of it, and if I maintain that frequency, which I'd want to, I don't want to get too out of hand, but even every couple of weeks, let's say I get my haircut every 2 weeks, man, that's an extra probably 60 to including tip, probably I don't know, you might be looking at 70, 75, $80 even potentially every single month over the span of a year. That's, let's call it almost $1,000. Over the decade that I've been doing it myself, that's an extra 10 grand saved just right there. And very quick math, by the way, guys. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep that going as long as I can.
I mean, you have to, man. It's such an easy way to save money, I feel like. Now, that
Yeah.
comes with great risk for some of us. I don't think I could do it.
Well, dude, it you're right. It does come with risks. There's been there was one time. This was probably 7-ish years ago. I was in my probably early 20s. I was working at a gym, like front desk at a gym, and this was like one of the first times. I mean, you guys have seen me. There was during the summer. I'll take it way down, like a number one all around. So basically bald. It was like I wasn't planning on doing that this time, but this was the first time I was forced to do it. So I was going like no guard, just trying to get my neckline back here and everything, and I totally goofed up. I went like way. I don't know if you guys can see this. I went like way up here, like it was almost up to the crown of my head. Totally screwed it up, and so I actually just kept it. Everything else was like a number two, except for a good week or so, I had a
It
strip
was
just
a
up
new
here.
trend.
Yeah. So, and luckily working there, no one saw the back of my head, so when I didn't really go anywhere otherwise. So I was like, I'll just leave it. But to your point, it can be risky. That's the only accident that I've had with that.
I cut my hair one time. As a teenager, actually, my dad used to give my brother and I buzz cuts.
Okay.
That was back in like the football days, and we'd ask him to do like, yeah, number one on the side and a little longer on top to make,
Hmm.
but as I got older, man, I comes with too much risk for me. And I tried it once in 2020 when like everybody shut down and barbers weren't at the shop and they wouldn't come to the house. Like you were just stuck. So for me, the go-to haircut for me is usually like a little longer on top and a
Hmm.
fade on the side. And so that year, I had it already shorter on the side and longer on top. But after a month of entering the COVID era, it was really long on top. And then I was like, I got to clean this up. And I tried for the first time ever to like really cut my hair. Dude, I mean, I look like a grassroots weed, like just like the hair. It was terrible. It was so terrible. I immediately phoned one of my friends, Sally, and she was a stylist. I go, you got to cut my hair. I was like, I just messed up my whole head. So I
Yeah,
never
man.
again. I've never tried that again, and I don't think I ever will, no matter
What's
how frugal that might be.
so with that said, what is like your frugal hack there? What's your version of that?
Yeah, one of
I'm
my
sure we have a few.
go-tos, and you'll probably also be on the same boat as me with this one. But Graham Stefan is definitely on board with this. It's coffee. I don't buy coffee out almost ever. I There's two conditions in which I'll buy it. Once a week on Friday morning when I'm on a long walk with my dog, I make it a point to actually like have a coffee and usually like a bagel at a new place, and we sit together. And then when I'm traveling, that those are the
Mm.
only times that I'll actually enjoy coffees out. But then typically even I'll have a coffee at the hotel and it's free. So or I paid for it already, right? So I even go back on that because when they say free meal or breakfast included, it's like you paid for it already. Don't get fooled. Okay, so that's my go-to thing is coffee. I drink so much. I got a little cup right here, but I have 2-3 cups a day.
Yeah.
And it's now more like 1 or 2 cups, but like sometimes I'm doing 2, 3. Not, and it doesn't impact me energy wise, but I love the taste. I love the taste of coffee. So if I had to buy all the coffee out, to get that taste, I mean, I'd be bankrupt, man. But
Yeah.
all in all, if you really think about that, like what people are spending on coffee, and it depends where you go, because Starbucks is probably like much more expensive than a Dunkin'. But think about this, about $4.50 we want to say. Something
Um,
around there.
you could probably get them 350, 325, and it does depend on the Starbucks too. I mean, if you're going down on this is just exclusive to like tourist destinations, but down on the strip,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be more. But I think around my neck of the woods, I think a grande dark roast, you might be looking at 325 or 350 somewhere in there.
So upwards of $16 then a week, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. If you're going five
And
days
and
a
then
week.
and then, upwards of 660, 65 the month. I mean, it doesn't sound crazy. And this is the thing I think I want to even gravitate towards. Sometimes when you're doing the math, well, it can go either way. Sometimes when you're doing the math on all this, and you're like, yeah, it's only 325. It's only 1650. It's only $60 at the end of the month, $65 at the end of the month. I can spend. But then you have to, I always go back to like, well, what could I invest that $65 in? And
Hmm.
and then you do the compounding math, and then that's where you see the real value of it. Because sometimes I really think, even let's just say you spend $1,000 a year on coffee. That doesn't seem like that much. It's like, yeah, it's pretty reasonable, right? It's not that much in the spectrum. But now you take that 1,000, you start doing some real compounding math there, eighth wonder of the world math. And what would that do for you in the market? So that's
Yeah.
one of the frugal hacks, if you will, that I always run with is just keeping it simple, make my coffee at home.
Hmm.
Another big one for me, man, is sale items. I
Yeah.
always, when I'm shopping, like there's no real difference between I'll take like yogurts, Greek yogurts for example. You see my pup right coming in the
Yeah.
screen. Um,
There's the producer.
yeah, she's man, I love her, man. She was in a little pup fight earlier today, and
Oh.
another dog actually bit her. I didn't see that, um, and then like they started going at it a little bit, and if I didn't pull Nala back, man, she would have really got this dog. And then the other dog left, and I saw why she was so aggressive. She had a bite in her arm. I feel so
Oh.
bad, man. She's like limping around. Anyways, back to Greek yogurts. There's no real difference, man, between brands, and I think we have to. It's like a psychological thing for us. Like we're loyalists to our brands, which is a good thing. But at least for me, I found that like it all tastes the same. It's all freaking Greek yogurt. It's all whatever. So if you go for the store brand, even like granola, I just bought a massive bag of granola, store brand. and it was like $3 cheaper than the traditional brands that are on the shelf. That's
Hmm.
another hack I run with, is like always look for the store brand or the sale.
Oh yeah, man, that's a great hack. I will say some things do the brand some brand name things are better. The big example of that I found is actually coffee. So I'm very much like you in the sense that, I mean, everyone knows I love my Starbucks, whatever. I really don't. My wife and I really do not go out and buy coffee at Starbucks very often. I would say maybe once a month, twice a month max we do that. Every other time we're making it at home every day. But we love making it at home because we buy the Starbucks beans at home, and it wasn't always that way. We used to get the Great Value beans, which are, it was Walmart's, their brand. It's one of their brands, Great Value. We used to get the Walmart coffee beans, the Great Value beans, except one day, and they were fine. You get the hazelnut flavor, you get the donut shop flavor. They've got some good different flavors, but there was one time we noticed that the Starbucks beans, like the Cafe Verona, the dark roast ones, were on sale, and so we tried those out and never went back to Walmart. There was a huge difference in the taste of the coffee, and you didn't have to use as much grounds to get the same amount of flavoring or the same level of flavoring as you would have to with the Walmart grounds for whatever reason. And so, like I said, now we continue buying the Starbucks beans. We buy them at bulk at Sam's Club. It's maybe like, I don't know, 20 to 25 bucks for a big thing, and it lasts us definitely more than a month. And this is making a pot every single day. And so it's like, yeah, that's worth splurging on, I think. But to your point, some other things like the Greek yogurt, which we also eat a lot of, not really any different. You're going for cereals. Yeah, the Great Value brand cereal is going to be the same as the Fruit Loop brand or whatever it is. And you can
And
save. Go ahead.
some people even, they have, I buy a lot of like for shakes, right? The frozen fruits, and they
Mm-hmm.
have like the store brand
Yeah.
frozen strawberries or like whatever strawberries from whatever brand. It's like they're strawberries, like
Yeah. Right.
you're not gonna like change that taste so like enormously that you're like, I taste that this is store brand strawberry.
Yeah.
Like you'll never know, but people get duped by that all the time.
That's a great example. Coffee creamer's another one. Milk's another one. Yeah, it's crazy how much you can save by just making that switch. And like you said a moment ago, it might not seem like, I think you were talking about it with the coffee. If you're spending 60 bucks a month, or no, a week, a couple $100 a month on coffee, that might not seem like a huge ordeal, but that definitely adds up over time. And that one small change can save you a whole lot. And it's true with groceries. If you're saving $3 here, $3 there, and you're doing that across 10 to 12 different items, maybe 15 different items, that's really gonna add up and help keep more money in your pocket. And that's the thing when it comes to all these different hacks. It's not just one thing. Yeah, okay, you can maybe save a couple $100 on the coffee, big deal. But if you do that while also saving money on the grocery side of things, maybe that saves you another couple $100 every month. And then maybe you've got a couple other things in your life where you can take a similar approach, and all of a sudden you found yourself with maybe an extra 400, $500 a month saved just because you made a few small tweaks. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's not just one thing. You got to look at the everywhere that you're spending money and see where you can cut back. And that's really going to taking advantage of those different hacks across the board is really going to add up.
I was gonna say, man, a lot of people get excited about a dividend that comes in for like $3, or like $2. Like sometimes you watch YouTube videos with new dividend investors, and you're like, I got $2.50. This is crazy, right? It's like you can go to the store and actually just save that. And I like to. I guess this maybe it's considered a hack, maybe not. It's a mental hack, at least for me. Instead of saying I saved X amount, I like to say I made X amount. I went out shopping for groceries and I ended up earning this amount because I saved, right? And I kind of think about it that way because it's either dollars out of your wallet are dollars that are staying in the wallet. And so for me, when I'm like, oh, I'm saving, it's like I'm hoarding almost. And I want to say like, no, I earned that, man. Like, and the reason why I even go that direction is because it's a sacrifice. So I like to mentally psych myself out sometimes. Be like, dude, you earned it. You sacrificed not going out with, friends to that particular dinner because you do once a week or twice a week or whatever it is, or you sacrificed not buying that store brand or that whatever brand for the store brand. That sacrifice equals earning. And so that's actually helped me a lot because I think a lot of the terminology that we use sometimes in finance, personal finance, can be, or it sound restrictive. And I think if we kind of give way to what we really mean when we say it, then we can flip the script in a positive direction.
So, like, what's another example of that where maybe the verbiage is a bit restrictive and could be tweaked?
Budget.
Budget, okay.
That's a big one,
What?
right? Like, how many times have you heard, like, oh, is it like, how's your budget? And immediately people are like, oh, like, I don't know. Either they don't
It's
have a
like a
budget,
dirty.
they don't
It's
want
like
to
a
be
dirty B
restricted.
word.
Yeah, man, it is the dirty B word, and I get it. Like when you think budget, and how many people out there in watching right now, just in the comments, how many of you out there when you hear the word budget, do you cringe and just like, oh, like you don't want to hear it? It's restrictive. If I'm really being honest with myself, I mean, I'm years down on this journey, and the budget still gets me. I'm like, oh, it sounds
Yeah,
restrictive. I don't. Who wants to
yeah.
be on a budget? No
Well,
one.
dude, it's like also who wants to be on a diet? No one. It's the same exact thing actually. No one wants to be on a diet. Okay, but to your point, okay, don't. How do I explain this? Maybe don't put yourself in a certain box like that where you have a budget or you need to go on a diet. Maybe it's if you zoom out, you'll realize this is a lifestyle problem. You have to make some big lifestyle changes. And if you can do that and just build your lifestyle around something that's maybe more sustainable or that keeps more money in your pocket or inches off your waistline if we are talking a diet, then you might come to find you don't need a budget. You don't need a diet in the first place. These hacks aren't really hacks. They're just things you do, and it doesn't even seem like it's a sacrifice just because it's just your way of life.
Well, I'm happy you said that, man. I was actually thinking that, and that was going to be my next, literally the next thing out of my mouth was it's a
Okay, cool.
lifestyle change. So
Yeah.
I'm happy you beat me to it, but that's the truth. That's exactly right. When you change your life, and I'm not talking about like being flirtatious with a change. I'm talking about like full on committed, you have changed your life. A lot of the things that you used to think were like restrictive or annoying, they really just become now a part of your lifestyle and it's who you are. And so therefore it's not so crazy. It doesn't feel so restrictive. And the basis I think that needs to be set in place is just like, okay, what's the mission? And then who do you have to become to accomplish the mission? You take like a Navy SEAL, okay? They're going to go through the most intense training that any soldier ever goes through. They don't come out the other end as a soldier. They come out the other end as a warrior, as a SEAL. Like that, the difference between soldier and warrior it's different. Like it
Mm.
has different connotation. And so you can either go through this financial journey as you are, I'm not talking about you, Ron, just like generally like someone out there, or
Yeah.
you can become a financial warrior. And so what happens to the mindset? And it applies to the gym too. Like you can go there and like throw weights around, talk and schmoo, like whatever, or you can go in there with a mission, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, and like kill yourself in there and just come out and like you did the deal. And
Mm.
that's a lifestyle difference though. You like I know when I'm speaking to someone, I was actually just on the phone with my brother like an hour ago. And we were talking about he wants to start a business and I've done exactly that. And I said, man, as much as you want to start a business, you have to understand, like, there's so many people that say, I want to do XYZ. I want to start a business. But really what they want is not to start a business. They want the lifestyle of someone who started the business. They want the lifestyle of the CEO. They don't actually want to be the CEO. They want the lifestyle of the rich and famous. They don't want the actual process of getting rich and famous. And so when you change the mindset falls in love with the process.
Yeah. So you're saying it oftentimes can be a status thing instead?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, in order to really do this deal of, frugality and using these words without them having to sound negative, your life, as you shared, needs to change. It's a lifestyle change. How many
Hmm.
people diet for whatever they do, these stupid juice cleanse diets? I'm sorry, life is meant to be enjoyed. Anything in excess is terrible, but like, 30-day juice cleanse. It's all I'm doing is juices. It's just like, the way I think about it is like, well, heck, in the next 15 days, something can happen to you. You get killed. It's like, that's how you want to go out. Like, you didn't enjoy food and everything around you. So it's just when you change your life, the juice diet is almost silly, in my opinion, because the 30 days and then you get, obviously you're going to lose some weight. You're just drinking juice. But did you change your your eating habits?
Yeah.
So some people do this, like, 30-day budget challenge or whatever, not, and like, yes, some of them may come out the other end and change. But if you stick to, like, okay, 30 days on this challenge or whatever, chances are by day 31, you're like, I made it. I can now kick back and relax.
It's because you haven't addressed the root issue. With the juice cleanse, it's like a band-aid for a bullet wound. You have to address the root issue, which once again is just your overall lifestyle. It's not really just one thing. And when it comes to your spending, that's exactly what we were talking about. It's not just, spending less on a haircut. It's not just finding alternatives at the grocery store. It's all of these different things. It's all of these different things. And you have to eventually kind of get around to doing them all. Maybe not the haircut. I mean, everyone's got their own limits, you know what I'm saying? But
Brian, that's the
you
biggest risk I think you take, man.
the haircut thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Say no to growth stocks, but give me a haircut. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah,
Give me
love
that
me
razor.
well, man,
Terrifying for me.
everyone lives on the edge. Some people jump out of planes, some people cut their own hair. Everyone lives on the edge in their own way. Um I don't
By
know. I
the
think
way,
I
I
was going to
think
wrap
I'm
it up
going
there, but
again, man.
oh, are you really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like going to become a thing now. It's just, I'm going to just jump out of planes every country I visit. That's kind of what I made up in my mind.
I think that's cool, man. I think that's a cool little ritual or tradition. Like when you get this maybe isn't the best comparison, but when you get the bumper stickers every time you do the marathon, or you get like a medal or something, you'll have to get something like that, your own version of that, whenever you skydive in these different places. I mean, I guess you get pictures, right? You get a picture each time or
Yeah, you can
something.
get pictures and videos, but that can get expensive, man.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it costs extra to have somebody else jump out of the plane and take them. Um,
Uh,
but I'll tell you what, actually, speaking about this is pretty good. And it's right in line with what we're talking about. While I do enjoy splurging on travels, I am absolutely a crazy frugal saver, when I'm home.
mm,
And so I think that's also important. We may have touched upon this before, but it's I just hope my messaging doesn't come off wrong or hasn't come off wrong. It's okay to spend, and you should spend on what you really, really enjoy, but don't spend on everything, because more than half the stuff, 70%, 80% of stuff you probably spend money on doesn't actually bring you like true, genuine happiness. My thing is like travel. And so when I travel, yeah, I want to go in a little bit nicer of a hotel, and I want to do some excursions, and I want to have fun while I'm in these destinations. While I'm at home, dude, I don't spend on anything. it's groceries. I don't even go out.
Hmm.
Like
So let me ask you this then. How should people watching, people listening, how should they think about this? Because on one hand, we're saying you want to put yourself in a position where you're it's kind of like we're saying you should be budgeting, but like don't think of it as budgeting. It should just come natural. It's almost like a natural budgeting where you don't have to think about it. That's at least how I in my case, in my personal life, that's how I think about it. I do have a budget of sorts, but it's not really something I think about because I don't naturally spend. I'm just not like you. I'm just naturally not a spender, so I don't really have to budget because the lifestyle stuff is in check. But then when it comes to these things that you but these things that it's okay to splurge on, whether it's travel or maybe you like sneakers or what are those things, labubus? Is that what those things are called?
what are those? I have no idea what
I don't
that is.
even know what they are. I think it's this new. There's these new like trendy toys. I think the trend's already fading. I think they're called labubus. You guys will know in the comments, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. They're almost like freaking not beanie babies. Well, kind of, sorta, actually. I think. But anyway, so when it comes to whatever your thing is that something that you should then budget for or actively be saving for, which kind of is like having a budget, or is that something you just allow yourself and kind of work that into the overall? Is that a part of the overall lifestyle, lifestyle natural budgeting way of doing things? How do you, I guess, account for that is what I'm asking.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the obvious answer, the real straight, streamlined way to wealth is, spend way less than you earn. And like that number is really critically important. And so some people, and I used to, budget and have like a pretty hardcore budget, and I'd punch like every day if I spent money, I'd punch it into my budget tracker, and then my basically Excel would go into red and yellow. It had colors, like all this stuff, and it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. And then
Yeah.
when I had a girlfriend there in Manhattan, like we would do it together, and I'd be like, "Babe, we're getting to the yellow," like you gotta relax a little bit, um, but and then she would have fun with it too, because like whatever. So we gamified it, but then I was like, it's kind of a waste of time. So I started doing the classic pay yourself first, and I was like, how much money do I need to invest per month in order to hit X goal? And once I started operating like that, it actually became a lot easier, because it was like, okay, first I'll pay myself. Then obviously I got to pay rent. Then whatever's after that, I didn't continue to divide into like needs and wants, right? It was like the way I think about it, you need a home, okay? You need a roof over your head. For some of us might argue. Maybe there's like one or two people that are like in a tent right now. But um and then you need food. Like you need to eat and you need a roof over your head. Everything else, in my opinion, is a want. And it's really, you got to get really intense with yourself about that. Like what I'm about to say may blow someone's lid off, but having a phone is a want. You don't need a phone. As crazy as that might sound, you really don't need it. Like I just went the past 3 days not on my phone, turned off. It was
Yeah.
just off.
It is
Everything was
a
okay.
it's funny that you say that. I almost felt like as you were saying that, I felt like, oh, I almost felt attacked. Like, all right, how dare you say that? But thinking about it for another few moments, I mean, it is true. It's true. It's interesting though because it is a discretionary item, but it's gotten to the point where our phones, I mean, obviously we're attached to them. It's always within arm's reach. So it's almost like it's a part of ourselves, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's funny. I actually I was watching I think it was just like a TikTok video on my phone of Ed Sheeran talking about how he hasn't had a phone for something like 10 years. No one can. I mean, maybe he has one, but he doesn't ever keep it on him. He's probably got like a flip phone or something. No one's texting Ed Sheeran. You can hardly get a hold of him via phone call, but he makes it work. He makes it work. And so, to your point, it is a want. It feels like a need, but it's really not.
We have to, I think where like society is going wrong, especially these days, is we continue to normalize things that otherwise like weren't normalized, right? Like just think about this, man. Your parents, my parents growing up at when they were 18, 17, 18, and they went to go drive somewhere, anywhere. They didn't have the luxury of a smartphone with a map. They literally had to pull out
Yeah.
maps. They didn't have phones. And yet, at least in my opinion, they lived like the most epic lives ever. And the tales that they share are way cooler than the tales that we share today. Like everything I feel like that was happening without phones and without all this stuff, like people were just more real. They were more down to earth. They were deeper. And so I do think the only thing that has happened over time is we have normalized this phone idea into our life and other things as well. Um, Subscriptions to Netflix and Netflix and, whatever flicks. But it's like
Distractions.
they're all distractions. When you boil it all down, what do you really need and what do you want? Even clothing. You don't need luxury brands. You literally can go to Goodwill and buy your clothes. I used to do
Yeah.
that sometimes in Manhattan. This is actually another hack, man. I gotta say,
I was going to
if
say it
you
too.
if you live in a posh area, like a nice upscale area, or if you're close enough to a town that has like a real like Beverly Hills, I'm just throwing that out there as an example. I was in Manhattan. Go to Goodwill in those areas. I am telling you, you have all the luxury brand names because people will dump their luxury brands in a Goodwill in nice towns, nice areas. Dude, I would go there and find clothes with the tags still on them, brand new.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? This sweater, these jeans are like, they're all luxury brand and a Goodwill for $10.
But even so, it's like, when you get to if you're trying to look good, if you're trying to be fashionable, if you're trying if you're making an effort to dress yourself in a way that is presentable and nice, you also don't even need to go luxury. Like this is not saying that I'm like, a super fashionable dude. Fun fact though, I actually did win best dressed in high school. Very fun fact, which might be surprising, but it's true. So this is
Runner
just
up best
this
hair.
is just a Sam's Club t-shirt. I get all my t-shirts just from Sam's Club or Gap. I get my t-shirts from Gap. I'm a shorter guy, so I do have to hem them at the bottom, but it's timeless. Go for those timeless looks that will never go out of style. A navy blue t-shirt, a plain black t-shirt, a plain white t-shirt. These things are always going to be in style, no matter what's
Well,
going
dude,
on.
what do I always wear when I pop on here? I mean, I'm wearing one of two colors,
Yeah,
black or white. And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
maybe every now and then it's like a blue, maybe.
yeah, yeah. And if you look at the some of the style, at least for men, this is specific to men. If you look at some of the men's style icons or fashion icons over that have withstood the test of time, it's guys like James Dean and Paul Newman and Steve McQueen, aka the King of Cool. And those guys weren't wearing anything crazy. It wasn't Gucci belts and Gucci slides or anything like that. It was very timeless things that fit well, that had a purpose, and that withstood the test of time. You look back at pictures of those guys back then in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and the stuff they were wearing then is still cool today.
And this is where I'll say, for people out there who complain that they don't have enough money, it's just like such an unfortunate excuse that one can make. It's I don't have enough money to invest, and you can really think about all of this stuff and be like, someone making $50,000 a year, like, you have plenty of money. It's just, where are you spending it? How are you spending
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
How many nights, like, this is always like, how many nights out a week do you go out? Do you go out with friends? Like, chances are, and it's like, man, I don't drink, and I just, like, the amount of money that I've saved after I stopped drinking. It's been
No,
eight
I'm
years,
sure.
man.
I'm
It's
sure, man.
insane. And I go out, when I do go out with friends and I don't drink, maybe they have a beer or two, but, like, I see how much that beer or two costs them. And I'm like, wow. So first of all, I don't like to wake up in the morning groggy. And I just like, I'm like really on the money, not drinking, energy level, the whole thing. But it's like the added bonus that sacrifice allows me to earn, right? To save a ridiculous amount of money.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure, man. Especially like if you live somewhere like here in Vegas, where it's like, people go out all the time here, obviously, for obvious reasons. But man, a cocktail down on the strip, that's going to set you back 14, $15. Beer is not too much cheaper than that. And it's like you get a couple of beers or a few beers down on the strip, you could be out $50, no problem.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, that's why I really, when, man, people's excuses, they just get to me, because you have to be willing to make these sacrifices. You
Hmm.
have to.
Yeah, and it's I do understand the feeling of not I do understand feeling like you don't have enough money. I think to some extent we all feel like that all the time, especially us investors. I don't think that's something that will ever go away completely. And so I do understand that feeling, but at the same time, if you're not willing to change it and work harder or change jobs or take on a side hustle, if you're not willing to solve that problem in making more money, well, there's another lever that you can pull, and I think that it often gets forgotten that okay, well, maybe you for some reason or another you don't have the means to make more money. Okay, you can still look at your expenses and see where you can cut back. And to your point, and to the point of pretty much everything we've talked about so far today, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You need to look at these things that you are spending money on. Everyone's probably got a Netflix subscription or something similar, some sort of subscription. Um,
How many
Look,
subscriptions do you have?
I actually don't think we pay for any of like the TV subscriptions. I think we're, cheating the system a little bit there, using my parents, my wife's parents, or whatever. So I don't actually think we pay for any of those. I have the only subscriptions that I really have are actually work related. I've got a subscription to Epidemic Sound, which is what I use for the music in my videos. I have a like a B-roll footage subscription for royalty free videos. I do have a like an Apple iCloud subscription for like 200 gigabytes. It's like $3 a month. And then like our gym membership, which is $10 a pop, so $20 a month right there. And Spotify actually, Spotify. That's the big one. But otherwise, that's it.
Dude, I have zero.
What do you do for
Huh.
music?
YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
And I know it's like, man, I always, like, when I would have, maybe it was an ex-girlfriend, like, when I first met her, and I'd always, like, she'd come over and I'd turn YouTube on and, like, put it to the sound
Yeah,
system, and then the commercials would come on. But she'd be like, why don't you just get Spotify? I'm like, nah, nah, nah,
yeah,
nah. And she would use hers, so but I think it's pointless, man. I don't, okay, I get a 30-second commercial that I can skip at 10 seconds in. I'm good.
hmm
I don't need to pay anything. I literally have zero subscribe. I don't even have a gym membership, dude.
yeah. I um,
And
I
and
would
by the
be.
way, when I used to sell gym memberships, because a decade ago, I was in the business of doing that. One of the biggest selling points I would make to people, and I would close them all the time. If you were, at the gym, it was Workout World in New Jersey at the time. And first of all, the meatheads were always easy to close because they were like the lift things up and put them down type of guys, right? So just like, I'll just give you a dumbbell, dude. Pay me $10 a month, whatever. So, so it was the other people though, and I would actually tell them, no, like we're all set. Like you don't need to be at this gym. Matter of fact, like you can go to any gym. Don't even waste your money at this gym. And they'd be like, "What are you talking about? Like this is like." They were so thrown off by that answer. I'd be like, "No, look, based on what you want to do, like I can give you a dumbbell. You can go run around outside. You'll get the same workout. But if you want to work out here, right, and do this class and that class and like get into this based off of your goal that will actually get you there, like I'd rather just not waste your money, And then they would always close them because they're like they would think about it. It's like, okay, actually, most of the time, like, and I think what I was really trying to do was get them to think a little bit more abstract about how they were going to get to their goal. Because I don't like wasting my money. I also don't like wasting other people's money. And so a lot of the times what happens, you probably saw this a lot in the gym as well, man, but I certainly did. Running all the numbers at a gym, you get people who sign up and then never come, okay? Then you get people who sign up, they come for a few weeks and then drop off because they're not seeing results. And those are the worst cases. Because the people who sign up and never come actually sign up and never come, but they're still signed up like forever. They're the people that are like, I just have a gym membership.
Well, it's like, especially with cheaper gyms, it's like it's more trouble to cancel the membership than it is to just keep paying it.
Yeah, like Planet Fitness. I'll just keep
exactly.
And then you get to tell people you have a gym membership, like added benefit, even though you don't go. But the people who show up for 3 weeks or 2 months and then they drop off, they like actually terminate the gym membership is because they're not seeing results. And so what I would always sit down with those people, I'm like, I just hand you the dumbbell, go run around outside. I don't want to waste your money is because I don't want to see your face in 2 weeks telling me that it didn't work and that I'm going to cancel my gym membership. So I'd rather just cross that bridge now and give you the dumbbell to go run around outside. And they're like, wow, like, so then what do I do? And I'm like, well, if you're really going to do this thing the right way, you're going to pay a little bit more upfront, but I'm going to get you your results. We'll put you with a trainer, or we're going to put you in these classes. And then people would actually hit their goals. And all of a sudden, the gyms that I was managing started to have much less turnover because the money wasn't wasted.
And they also feel like they're a part, if they're getting involved in these different things versus doing it on their own, then they feel like they're a part of the community.
Yeah. But I think that, again, that goes back to like the mindset, right? It's like, okay, if you're going to try to budget for 30 days, like good luck. But if you're going to change your entire lifestyle, now we're talking.
Mm-hmm. And it's not, it's not like you can't buy the Greek yogurt or you can't, get the thing that you want to eat. Look for alternatives, though. A great place to start is by just switching the brands. And that can really go a long way. It really is all about finding those alternatives. Okay, cancel your Netflix subscription. Seems like it's going to suck, but just start watching YouTube. It's probably better for you. Or start listening to podcasts and pair that with like a nice walk around the block instead of sitting on the couch watching Black Rabbit, which I've got to say I've been enjoying very much lately. Great show.
I don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah, it's Jason Bateman, Jude Law.
Is that from your Netflix subscription?
It's from Netflix. Yeah, it's a new limited series that's out. It's pretty good, pretty intense. But with that said, I'm kind of like you. I'd be okay. Like if we didn't have any of these subscriptions, I'd be fine. Like
dude, I have 2 TVs in this apartment. They're not even plugged in.
Yeah, it's like I just start reading more. I probably should be doing that anyway. Watch some more YouTube. Probably should be doing that anyway. Keeping up on things there. So once again, it's all about alternatives.
I'm a huge man. I'm like podcasts. I take in the podcast or I'm reading. Like there's no in my like day to day. There's just no time for Netflix and I'm listening to podcasts usually when I'm cooking or sometimes when I'm walking the dog, and then I'm reading in the mornings and in the evenings to like psych myself up and cool myself down. And I don't have time for Netflix, man. Like I just. I'll treat myself when I earn the vacation, and then I'm on the vacation. And I don't know. I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one, and I want to ask you if your credit card does this. because Capital One, I have Capital One, a Capital One credit card. It's been amazing. I opened it up like 10 years ago, but they just started doing this. Um, every time I spend somewhere online, Capital One, as I plug in the credit card somewhere, will actually then give me a list of where I can find it cheaper or if I'm getting the best value for it. Does your
Oh, it's
card
like
do that?
no, it doesn't. I have a Southwest card, Southwest Airlines card. That's cool though.
Dude,
it's like
it's
almost like a plug-in on your internet browser or something or
not even a plug-in, man. It's like I don't even know where it came from. I just
huh.
literally on with Capital One when like it just automatically started doing it.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like I ran already because now I'm like I was booking flights and doing some things, and it was like, did you know you can actually get this much cheaper? Or like this is the best price if you buy it on this site instead of this site. And I didn't. There's no. I mean, I don't see any plugins or anything. It's like it just shows up with the Capital One card. Um, and then Capital One also has, if you go to the Capital One site first, and then I like, for example, if I'm doing flights or hotels or, rental car or whatever, if I just go to Capital One first and then to my card, it will give me a drop screen. And then if I go from that browser, it will then automatically show me deals and I'll like it's cool, man. But that's also, I guess, another hack is the credit card hack. So I want to shout out Capital One, man, and I want to say Capital One Quicksilver. Can we drop a link down there in the pinned comment? This card is the card. I'll die over it, and
is
I've had some bad experiences with cards, man.
is
Chase,
this
the Chase Sapphire card, I have a terrible experience with. I'll never go back to Chase.
oh, interesting. So with the you said Capital One Quicksilver, is that what it's called?
Capital One Quicksilver, 1.5% cash back everywhere you go, no matter what, no matter where. Global.
Do you get access to the Capital One lounges with that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I've been kind of thinking about maybe getting another card, like a Capital One or an Amex, because
Dude,
I
Capital One,
really
man.
I really want access to the lounges. I'm kind of leaning more towards that because I think you get access to a lot of the third. Maybe with Amex you do too, but with Capital One, like
Right, I'm sending you my link right
Capital
now.
One Venture card or something like that, you get access to not only the Capital One lounges but also all the other third-party lounges out there at the different airports. And I think that'd really come in handy.
Yeah, I'm firing you my link.
Okay, I'll check it out. But then again, I'm like, I don't know that I need another credit card right now. I only have two, but you know,
Yeah, dude, I used to play like again, the credit card game was big and I still play it.
really,
I still play the credit card game and I think if you could do that success you got to know yourself and trust yourself. But again, it's really simple. I mean, just don't spend what you don't have and what you
yeah,
have you can spend and then just pay it off every month. Like just don't be an idiot. Like just pay
yeah.
your card off. I don't know like how hard that is.
That's pretty much what I do. I mean, I run most of the things I buy are ran through my Southwest card, and then at the end of every single month, yeah, get it all completely paid off. I don't see why. I mean, yeah, to your point, it really does come down to having the
Well, what's
discipline. But if you have the discipline, I don't know why you would do anything else because you just
what's
get
your
all the
other card?
perks. Oh, my other card's just like a. I've had it for so long. It was actually the first credit card I got. Just like a standard credit card through Bank of America. I don't even think there was like cash back
I
or
don't
anything.
either.
It's just very, very, very basic. I do not use that one anymore. There's no reason to use that one. It does have a higher limit than my Southwest card, I think. So I have it for that. But otherwise, it's like I might as well just get the points from Southwest.
Yeah, I feel you there, man. I would say send me your link to Southwest, but it's not won't do me too good internationally. I feel like, right?
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more of a domestic. I think I might go back to the Capital One venture. I had it years ago. I did the points deal. I got the vacation, and then I canceled the card. But I might go back to it. It was a good card,
Dude, those lounges are so nice. It's just
dude.
so
But
nice to have.
the real question for you is like, do you travel enough?
No.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I was
but
gonna say. Like, you kind of need to
that's
travel enough to really enjoy the travel cards.
yeah, I know that, and that's why I haven't done it already. Is because realistically, before the baby, we're traveling, and we pretty much only go back home to California when we travel. Still, we can benefit from the lounges and doing that, but we'd only do that a few times a year. But still, even if we went back home, back and forth 3 times a year, I still feel like it would be worth it to have access to the lounges, and it's kind of fun too. Show up a little bit early, go have some food, have some coffee, hang out in the lounge for a bit, and wait for your flight. I think it'd be kind of a fun way to spend
You
time before you take
you
off.
might really enjoy, man, like a hotel rewards card.
Possibly, yeah, yeah,
Because those cards, like I know you and your wife like to kind of go on the strip every now and then and like treat yourselves to more of a staycation. And so hotel rewards cards will actually do you a lot of good, man. Give you a lot of firepower when you go out to a hotel, and
yeah.
they'll
Like maybe,
up your suite. The free breakfast. Also, I'm gonna throw this in there because it's not a credit card thing and anybody can do it. Use Booking.com.
yeah,
Booking.com. I travel. I've been traveling so much and using Booking.com for everything. I've become like now like an elite status member of Booking.com, and
oh
they
yeah,
do the same thing as a credit card. And so now I kind of have like the double play on it. I use my credit card to get the points, and then I'm also getting points on Booking.com. So the cool thing about Booking is that let's say I book a hotel tonight for the Amalfi Coast, right? And then in a week from now, when I'm there in the Amalfi Coast, the hotel price fluctuates. They pay me back the difference.
oh,
It's awesome, man. And I have like hundreds of dollars worth of credits from booking.com because there was a
that's
price
smart.
fluctuation.
That's really smart because that's going to incentivize you to then book another trip through
Use it again.
Booking.com.
Yeah. It's real. I mean, it's brilliant. And I love it when I see so far almost, yeah, 5 of the hotels that I've stayed at, they've fluctuated the prices. And the reason they fluctuate the prices towards the check-in date is because if the hotel isn't filled by the time you're checking in, they try to fill it every night. And so you might pay a little bit more at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, booking's like, oh, they didn't fill these rooms. It's offered cheaper. We're going to give it to you at that rate. So you do have to, I think it's like, forgot the exact number of bookings to get to like level 2, but like I'm like elite status on booking. So every time there's a price fluctuation, man, I already got one, 150 euro from my last trip. Like
Wow.
that's a lot of money. So talk
Yeah.
about a real hack. Don't just spend freely. Spend with a purpose. Like you're spending for maximum saving. Well, a part of that maximum saving is how are you actually spending? Is it with the credit card? Is it with points? Are you spending, on booking.com or something of the like where you can actually potentially get money back? All those things are important.
Yeah. No, that's smart, man. I'm going to look into I forget about Booking. I always default to Expedia for some reason, but that's really cool to know.
Yeah, man, I mean, kudos to booking in the team because that was brilliant. And now I'm hooked, man. I don't use anything else other than booking.com. And
Yeah, I
and
can
I
see
start
why.
now I'm like a review guy too, right? So I go to the
Oh, okay.
hotel and every time I go, I always ask when people do a good job, I think it's important that they get thrown some light for that. So like, I'll go to the front desk and on check-in or if I'm doing something like in Lisbon, the hotel I was at had bikes that you can take out. And so I took out a bike and I was like, so and so was very pleasant upon checking out the bike, made it a seamless process. Like I mentioned everybody. And so even just like going that extra mile, I guess this is a part of the hack is like, man, dude, even when you're at these hotels, I know I'm going on and on about this, but like, don't be afraid to ask for things from the hotel when you're there. Toothpaste is big. If your room doesn't already have it, but like, or even when I was in LA, I was at the Huntington Beach, Hyatt Regency, and my electric razor ran out of battery. And so I was like, shoot, what am I going to do? I just asked the front desk. I was like, by chance, do you guys have a razor and some shaving cream? They're like, yeah, we'll bring it right up to your room. So I could have gone out to the store to buy it, or I could just ask to see if the front desk has it at first. Same thing. I had complimentary drinks and soda and water in the room. Upon check-in, they were like, you only get one free tall glass of the complimentary sparkling water and this and that. And I asked the front desk, I said, is it possible to have another one? And they were like, yeah, why not? So sometimes you just got to ask. That's a hack.
Can you possibly spare some more Perrier?
Yeah. If you got any back there, just for the next guest, I'm splurging this weekend.
Yeah. Well, nice, man. I think we covered some good ground here. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'll just say, I think at the end of the day, like if you want to be a successful investor, it starts before you get invested into market. It starts with a mindset, and that mindset will guide you and lead you towards financial freedom, one step, one lifestyle change at a time, one step at a time, to ultimately find the money to invest. Because I think arguably, Ryan, the biggest issue that a lot of investors have, no matter what stage of the game, still my problem today, I don't have enough money to invest, is what we're talking about this episode. So good luck to everybody. Don't forget to ask for those Perriers, and see you in the Amalfi Coast.